Hi there and welcome to today's video. I'm super excited to be here today because the sun is shining, just feeling in the mood to film. I thought today I would play with the new Charlotte Tilbury palette that came out for the holidays and also create a sort of green classic Christmas eye with it. So this is the palette packaging here. It's the Eyes to Mesmerize Instant Eye Palette. 12 different shades in here, and it offers 4 different complete looks you can do. I think it's nice that there is that, but I don't really follow it. But if you're a beginner, I understand that's a great suggestion and a place to start. And I already have my face makeup on. Some of it I'll let you know what I have, and we'll be adding a bit more depending on the look we create. We may need to change up the cheek or the lip. We'll just see. So this is the palette in person. It's really, really pretty. I love that they went with like a sleek black. It's so pretty and just simple. And then it's very thin, which is what I love about these palettes is they're so great for traveling. You get a nice variety of options. So I'm gonna flip it over and show you what's inside. I love the color story. And I actually have bought it in previous years. So I've got a stack right here, and then I have this one. So I don't know how long they've been coming out with these, but as long as I've been into makeup and these have come out each year, I've snapped one up. They are pricey, so typically I buy them during the VIB sale just because it's 95 Canadian dollars, which is a lot of money for a palette, but Charlotte Tilbury's products all perform amazingly. I don't think there's one thing that I've tried from her brand that I don't like. So I've just been grabbing these, and every time I travel, especially around the holidays or if I'm going for a short over weekend trip, I usually take one of these with me. So the first one that came out, I'll show you the closest color story. I think it's this one right here, which was Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. This is what it looks like. And if you have this one, I honestly don't know if you need the new one. Just at first glance, they're very, very similar. You can see right here, the one on top is the new one that came out, and the one on the bottom is the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. It's the blue packaging, and this was actually the first one that I purchased. I loved the green color, the black in here, that there was also silvers and pinks. I thought it was really well done. So I think this is one of the closest palette color stories to this new one. And as you can see, they're definitely very similar. There are differences, but I don't know that you need both of these if you've already got one. The next one I think that came out was the Pillow Talk, and this one is all pinks. I don't know if it came out around Valentine's Day. I think it did. And this one's probably the most different from all of the Christmas ones she's come out with. You can see the differences. This is all pink. And this one has some of the similar tones, as they all do. They all have some of the similar colors in them, but very, very different. The next one that came out, this was last year's, the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. That's what this one looks right here. I love that there was purple and red tones, some lovely gold shades here on the end. And then this is the one from this year beside it. So you can see the two side by side. Now, from the first one that came out, 9.5 grams, as is the one that came out last year. Both of these are 9.5 grams. You get 12 shadows in all of them. Then the blue one here, the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize, actually had 7.5 grams, and the Pillow Talk palette was 7 grams. So that's a lot. It's a pretty big difference. It's 2.5 grams difference for the Pillow Talk, and then 2 gram difference from the original one that came out. And I remember when this one first came out, I did the math comparing it to her quads, and this was actually more expensive than if you were to buy the quads in terms of price per gram. I'm happy to see that over the past few years they've increased the amount of grams that are in the palette. So just for a comparison, I did do the math on this one just to compare it to her quad. They're $66 and you get 5.1 grams, which works out to be $12.94 per gram. So about $13 a gram is what you're paying for the quads. For this one, you're getting 12 pans instead of 4, so a lot more variety. And there's 9.5 grams, but it's It costs 95 Canadian dollars. All of this is in Canadian dollars. So you end up paying about $10 a gram for this, which is about $3 per gram cheaper than the quads, which is awesome. So if you were to take the price per gram for the quads and apply it to 12 pans of this size, you end up saving about $28, which is pretty significant. So now that we've talked about the price, and I do think it is worth it for the most part, I do think it's a splurge. I honestly do think it's a splurge. I don't think it's a must-have palette, but if you like Charlotte Tilbury products or you're wanting to get into her brand, I think buying one of these is better than buying the quads because you are getting more variety in this and more colors, and they're just nice and easy to travel with. It's just a good introduction to her brand. So as you can see, everything is separated out. There are groups of 3. So here's 3, 3, 3, and 3. And that's her suggestion of like, this is one look, this is one look, this is a look, and this is a look you could do. You don't have to follow that. You can honestly do whatever you'd like. She does have these kind of see-through templates that you just place on top and then you kind of know what order you're doing things in. I think she does that for all her quads, which is a nice guide for someone who's new into makeup, but I'm kind of gonna go and play with all of these colors and see what I can create. I'm really drawn to this green right here, which is very similar to the shirt I'm wearing. This taupey shade, I think this black's gonna be really nice to smoke up the look, even this brown. And then playing with some of these shimmer shades here to kind of get a more ethereal holiday glam. I don't know, we'll see what we come up with, but I'm pretty excited to play with it. I think we're ready to get into this. So now that we've compared the other palettes, I will not be playing with those today. I'm just going to play with this one, which is the Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette, which I definitely do see lots of smoky colors in here. And I think the tones are definitely more on the cool side, which seems to be in this holiday season. I've been seeing a lot more cool tone palettes, which is nice because I don't know that there are many cool tone palettes out there compared to how many warm tone palettes there are. So let's just get right into this look. I'm going to use a fluffy brush here. This is Katie Jane Hughes in Spectrum Collab number 11 brush. And I'm just going to go into this Love Eyes trio right here and use this lightest bone shade. A little bit of kickback when I tap it. I don't know if you can see that. So be sure to tap if you have this palette. And then I'm just going to lightly lay it down, which is going to brighten up my lid, which is what I want. What I do also like about this palette is it's very light and easy to hold. And even though the mirror is a little bit on the tiny side, it's nice because it's great for the eyes. Like I can see my full eyes all the way across when I'm working with this, and my arm's not going to get sore from holding it, even though it is a little bit longer, which is really nice because eyeshadow palettes tend to be very bulky and like rectangular and heavy if they have this many shadows in it, or they're just shaped in a way that it's too heavy to hold up the whole time you're doing your eye look. And I typically reach for something a little bit smaller and more compact, like something like this, but then it's hard for me to get the full eye look in it. I'm only usually seeing one eye and working at one eye at a time, and then I kind of have to pull it back and look. But for someone who wears glasses pretty much 24/7, the only time I'm not wearing glasses is when I'm sleeping or filming or like applying my makeup, it's hard for me to see things that are farther away. So it's nice that this is sleek and I can kind of get close and see both eyes together. We're gonna go into the same brush and I'm going into the Power Eyes, and I'm gonna pick up this matte taupe. I'm very much a fan of using one brush as often as you can for an eye look instead of picking up like 10 different ones. Sometimes you do need to do that, but if I can avoid it and just use one or two tools, it helps because I know that not everyone has a gazillion brushes to choose from. When I first started out, I had maybe 5 or 6 that I picked up here and there. Actually, I might have even had like 2. I would use my hands for everything that I could, and I'd have a foundation brush and then some kind of eyeshadow brush, and I would just use that brush in whatever ways I could to create a full eye look. And it does limit you, but it also teaches you how to create eye looks with just one tool, and it definitely can be done. If you have your fingers for shimmers and you have one brush for powders, you can create a complete look. What I want to do is keep the outer edge of my eye like more dark and contrast from the inner part, which I want to keep bright and light, because when I think of a Christmas eye look, a classic one, I think of like a winged liner, some kind of shimmer, a lighter shimmer, not something dark and intense. That's what I imagine more for New Year's, and imagine a more lighter eye for Christmas holidays, and where the lip is the centerpiece. Everything should be complementing the lip. So I'm going to keep things light and just add a bit of definition. So keeping it out here, and because I know I'm doing wing liner, I'm imagining that my lower lash is just extending up and where that line would keep going, and that's where I want to stop placing the powder. It's okay if you bring it upwards. So I'm going right up here to my brows, that's okay. And then whatever's left, bringing it in, just softly diffuse it out. The same on the other side. Now by bringing the shadow up to just underneath my brows, it's going to lift my eye and make my eyes look bigger than they are. And I do have very tiny eyes, so I'm going to use as much lid space as I can, which is often when I'm doing my eyebrows. I don't like to cut them off and make them very angular, because then I'm losing all this area right here where I can apply powder. So I like to try and keep them a little bit more lifted if I can. And I know not everyone can do that, but if you can keep your eyebrows a little bit lifted when you're doing them, it's going to give you more space and more real estate pretty much to work with for your eyes, which I think is one of the funnest areas to do makeup, where you can be the most creative. Don't cut yourself short and use whatever space you have. Just take this small precision brush here and just take the same powder here, tapping it in, picking it up on the tip, I'm gonna tap it off, and then just run it underneath my lash. Now you can see that shape is taking form because this has been deepened up. You can see that that line and shape of the eye is being etched out. Now, whatever's on here, I'm going to try and take it off in the back of my hand. As you can see, I only dirtied one side of the brush, so that I can always flip it around and use this clean side. And then I'm gonna go in with the other side, and I'm gonna go into this darker brown, and I just wanna pick it up pretty much on the edge here. You can see right there, tapping it off. And just to make sure that it is not too intense, I'm gonna place it on the back of my hand. Then I'm gonna go in, focus it right here, and just stamping it and kind of like vertically, like bringing it in as if I would a wing. So we have a gradient. It's really light here, it's a little bit darker, and then darker right here, which is going to contrast the brightness that we place on the lid in the inner corner and make that light stand out even more. As you're noticing, these aren't super impactful powders. They're really easy to work with, which is why they're nice for beginners. They don't have a lot of pigment, they don't pack a lot of punch, which is nice because you can make these soft, dreamy kind of looks and not worry about overdoing it and over applying too much powder and then trying to take it back. You're just making it look so delicate, and it's not really going to take that much effort. And then I'm going to go in with the brush that I used earlier for running that taupey shade underneath my eyes, and I'm just going to pick it up and run it just right here, just wiggling it back and forth. I think we're done with placing most of the powders. I'm gonna grab a little liner brush. This is a Morphe brush that I got in a Christmas collection last year. It's the same with the one that I used for underneath my eyes here. Go into this black matte, straight on. Pick it up, tap it off, because I don't want any fallout that's black on my eyes, and I'm just going to follow my lash line. Now I'm kind of just stamping it in place, and you can see the definition that it's already giving me. And then when I get out here, I flip it around and make my wing. And then I like to take with whatever's left and just stamp it right underneath to make it look very cohesive. Okay, now we're ready for the shimmer shades with this lighter one right here, which is part of the Power Eyes. Pick it up. I think this is the one that's closest to my shirt. kind of like a sage green. Going to focus that right here and then kind of take it up a bit. And go back in with this brush that I used originally and just kind of sweep it and diffuse it. Then I'm going to go into the darker green right beside it, which is more olive toned, and focus that right here. And then I'm going to go into the sparkle shade right here, which is part of the Love Eyes, and it's more of a pearly white undertone. Just take it with my index finger here and focus it in the inner corner. And then bringing it up. Just brighten it up, and you can take a little bit more and highlight your brow. So for liner, I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty liquid liner. What it looks like here. I love the end of the tip, and really try to just put it on its side and stamp it down over the line we've already traced with the powder. And I want to keep it very thin because I have smaller eyes. I don't want a thick liner. I'm going to try and keep it as thin as I can. Now I'm going to take my lash curler. This is my Shuamura lash curler. Then I'm going to go in with a combination of the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara and the Bite Beauty Upswing, and just use both of these to create big lashes that kind of mimic false lashes. I like to put on my mascara before I put the false lashes on, just because I don't like to put mascara on the falsies so they last longer. I like how that looks. I'm going to be using the Velour Final Touch Effortless Lash. These are for, I think, smaller eyes, which means I shouldn't have to trim them. You can see them right here. I'm pretty excited to apply them. So I have my Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. I'm actually allergic to latex, so I need to find things that say latex free. I had no idea there was latex in lash glue, but have recently been made aware of that. These are definitely very, very full lashes, so it's gonna look very glam. I'm gonna be doing my left eye first. I'm not very good at this, so bear with me. Just applying the glue on the edge. And then I'm gonna let it sit for a minute and get tacky. So I've just got my tweezers here. Just gonna let it wave. And I like to just take my finger and kind of push them up together. Very nice, very full. Now let's do the next side. These are definitely very full lashes, and normally I wouldn't wear the ones this full just because my eyes are a little on the smaller side, so they do kind of hide all the eyelids work that I've just done and the eye look. I do like how dramatic they are. So let's continue on. What I'm gonna do is grab a powder foundation. This is the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. I'm going to take a brush, just work it into it, and kind of cover up some areas and just add a bit more coverage and try and take down the cheek a bit so we can put something different on top. What I'm gonna do is go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I have the shade 1 Fair, and because that powder is pretty light and my face is looking a little white, we're gonna go in with this big powder brush. I'm gonna pop it right in, tap it off, bounce it on the back of my hand, and then just kind of brush it right underneath here. Do the same on this side. Kind of just bronze up a bit. Then I'm gonna do big circular motions here. And what's really nice about this one is that it's not very powdery. It's so light and finely milled that even though you're putting a couple layers on, it just blends and kind of melts into the skin. I like to imagine it as like powdery snow that's just so fine. It just, when it lands on your skin, it's not like it leaves big droplets. It just kind of lightly skims your skin and becomes one. It's just warming up my skin in such a light way, and it's, you know, taking down my pores and making it look very seamless and airbrushed. For some reason, this like eye look is definitely giving me like Black Swan vibes. If you guys have ever seen like the movie or Natalie Portman, the like movie cover art, I feel like these are definitely like those, I don't know, kind of fluffy, look a little bit caterpillary, but also elegant. I don't really know. Let me know if you like these in the comments down below, because I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on them. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Okay, I'm loving the level of bronzed glow that I have on now. Because the eyes and the lip are the centerpiece, I'm gonna go with a very light and neutral cheek. So I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in First Love. It's very light, very peachy. So I'm just gonna go in with an angled blush brush. I like to pat it around and then in the center you dot it. I'm gonna go in with this, I think it's a blush brush from the Sephora holiday collection last year. I'm gonna go into this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Superstar Glow highlighter. You can see it here. It's so pretty. It's like it's gold, pink. It's got the perfect shift that honestly somehow looks good with anything. So I'm gonna go in with this just lightly on the tip here, and then lightly graze in circular motions, just kind of like buffing it in. And it's just gonna give a light glow that kind of actually matches the inner corner. Now the last thing I want is, I think this lip needs to be a little bit more red. So I'm gonna go in with this lip liner in 145 Very Cherry. It's the Colorsensational lip liner from Maybelline. So that completes this look. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around. I hope you loved it. I am really looking forward to creating more holiday glam looks in the next few days. I definitely am going to be doing a variety of looks for New Year, so different tones. I think I'm probably going to do a navy silver look. I want to do a black, smoky, intense eye. I want to do something a little bit lighter and more playful, maybe with like a pink lip. So I've got a few ideas here. I can't wait for vacation. I need a break from work. And I'm just looking forward to playing with makeup, eating lots of baked goods, and spending time with family. I also wanted to mention here at the very end, if you've made it this far, that the giveaway that I hosted with the Pat McGrath palette was a huge success. And I just wanted to thank everyone who participated for their lovely comments, for letting me know what was on your Christmas wish list. I love to read through them. I did add a few of your ideas and your wishes to my wish list for Christmas, so hopefully I got a few of those items. Can't wait to find out, but it was really nice and I did select a winner. So congratulations to the winner. I'm not going to say their name here. It is listed in the comments for that video. What I really wanted to get to was that because this giveaway was so successful, I am certainly going to be doing more in the future. I actually already have one planned for February, so it's going to be in early February, probably around Valentine's Day. I'm not exactly sure of the timing yet, but there will be more giveaways on my channel. I think that's something I am very excited about and passionate about, is really giving back to those who support YouTubers or influencers or even just people starting out. This is all really new to me and I've been loving it so much that I just kind of want to throw even more energy and time into it. I don't really talk too much about this, but I do have a full-time job that is not YouTube. It's nothing like YouTube. And so it does keep me quite busy, and this is something I do in my free time. So it does take up a good amount of time to sit here and plan out videos, film, and then edit, but I'm really excited to do it, and I've been loving it so much and learning new things. So I'm hoping that my content's gonna get even more elevated and that my editing style is gonna get even more fine-tuned and precise. So thank you so much for just being with me as I do this. What I want to do is just be my best version of me out here for you. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have really awesome holidays. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Take care. I love you so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.